Hey Narwhals, I'm your host Luke Narwhal. Hope your day is going okay today. Today we're going to be reading Ask Reddit. Fat people of Reddit, what are some things skinny people just don't understand about being fat? Skinny people, what are some things fat people don't understand about being skinny? When you are fat, you start to make your world smaller. I was over 320 pounds. When I could no longer fit in a booth, I stopped going to restaurants that had no other seating options. I stopped flying because of the narrow seating. I no longer hiked because of my stamina. I stayed away from beaches and pools. After a health crisis and a near-death experience, I lost 100 pounds, plus I'm trying to enjoy some of the things that I gave up. Airplane travel still sucks though. You know, as someone who is skinny, I get you don't have to watch what you eat, you're small. I beg to differ. Used to be overweight and still feel self-conscious about how much I eat. They don't know that, but just because I'm small now doesn't mean I'm free to eat a megaton of calories. Reply, I'm small because I watch what I eat. When I was fat, I knew why I was fat. It was because I was overeating. One of my best friends is very thin and looks amazing. That's because she eats healthily and goes for runs in the park and goes to her dance lessons. It's not because of her genes. Gotta love that genes argument. It matters to an extent, but only like 5 to 10% above a healthy weight. People aren't 300 pounds because of genetics. My bunny butt goes numb sitting on unpadded surfaces since I don't have any padding of my own. Moving on a hardwood floor is not an option for skinny people. Ow, that's my knee. Ow, that's my bum. Ow, that's my elbow, shoulder, wrist, ankle, etc. Every time you sit down on a couch, you instinctively grab those little decorative pillows to place over your stomach, constantly adjusting the clothes you're wearing as they ride up or get caught so they don't emphasize how huge your butt or gut are, not wearing anything that clings because of this. I was out with friends once and a guy actually grabbed my hand to dance with me. I was used to being ignored at bars since my friend group was mostly tall, model-esque ladies at that point. I was nervous but happy about it, up until he pulled me closer and went, "You keep tugging at your shirt. Are you self-conscious? Because you look nice," or something like that. I got so anxious at being called out on what I was doing because I'd never really realized I was doing it before then that I don't even really remember. When the song ended, he said he was going to get a drink and headed for the bar, and I just ran back to my friends feeling humiliated. I know it was supposed to be a compliment, but man, self-conscious plus anxiety plus alcohol made for a hell of a mix. Making a fat joke about yourself before anybody else can, all day, every day. Edit, to all the folks saying it makes you uncomfortable when people do this, I get it, but it's more uncomfortable for me when someone comments on my weight out of the blue, and that's how I prevent it now. I'm well aware of my weight, and I don't need you to say anything about it. I was the opposite for most of my life. Up until about 20, I was around 6'3", 150 pounds, and was very self-conscious. One of my friends is overweight, but not like morbidly obese, 6'3", 330. He makes these jokes all the time about how fat he is and whatever, and although it's funny when very sparingly used, he can definitely go overboard and it kind of just makes the whole group kind of uncomfortable because we don't even care that he is bigger than us. It's probably one of the last things I think of when I think of him, to be honest. Edit, alright, I get it. At that height and weight, a person is morbidly obese. I probably shouldn't have used that wording anyways. He probably is a little closer to 300, but these are all guesses. I've been both and working my way to a normal healthy weight again, and almost there. Body image problems can exist on both sides of the spectrum and change over time. I had times when I was skinny where I was convinced I was grossly overweight. I had other times when I was fat where I was convinced I was a healthy weight. One of the biggest differences I've noticed is range of motion. When you're skinny, you have an incredibly increased range of motion compared to when you're fat. I'm skinny and I'm as flexible as an old man that died 30 minutes ago. Skinny-ish person here. Just because I'm smaller than you doesn't mean I'm healthy. I can barely run an eighth of a mile. TOFI. Thin outside, fat inside. Skinny fat is the term used in the exercise community. Me. There's no muscle on my bones except on my calves. Being disgusted about every physical aspect of yourself and then being too depressed to change it. Had depression and then got fat. Now being fat makes it worse. Am skinny, not healthy, skinny, underweight, and this is also how I feel. You sweat way more than everyone else in places most people don't sweat. You get tired easily, which isn't much of an issue. I don't know if this is true for all fat people, but I get nosebleeds when it gets hot. Again, I don't know if this is for all, but I think about what I'm eating and being fat like every second of my day. It's like a flickering neon light in the corner of my mind. You're fat and you need to change. I'm starting to change, but I'm lazy and stupid, so it takes longer. I can basically only buy bras at one store or online because all the other stores don't carry a 42/44 band size. Guys my age are not into fatties, which of course I respect. That being said, it's hard to find guys that are into you in their early 20s. Breasts sag. Being fat doesn't automatically mean big butt. Silhouette of a linebacker. Fatty here. Every time someone pulls out a camera, anxiety. It's really strange how much a photo can do to you as a fat person. My cognitive dissonance of my size evaporates when I see a picture of myself. My friend loves his photography and takes black and white photos of our friendship group. It means a lot to him, and he genuinely loves what he does. Every time I see myself in the photo, hiding at the back, my humongous ogre self dwarfing my friends, it's depressing as F. Yet all my friend can see is a photo of his friends. I see my internal shame and just wish death to claim me. I have a group of girlfriends who are all super fit and cute. Whenever we go out, I will put on my best outfit, do up my makeup, and feel so awesome. We dance all night. They get free drinks all the time, which means I do too because I'm in their group. Then the next day, I see pictures. Who is that fat girl wearing my dress? I go from feeling awesome to feeling like a giant whale. People always want me to consume their surplus junk food. You're skinny, one won't hurt. Yeah, how do you think I got skinny? I've been working on slowly losing weight since the fall. I've lost close to 20 pounds. And people in the office are starting to notice and give compliments. They also act offended when I refuse cake or donuts someone brought in. You are looking great. One cupcake won't hurt. I'll choose my own cheat meals and treats, thank you. Stop making me feel like a bad person. They act like I only have access to dessert and cheat meals at work. How seriously people take you as a relationship prospect. I went from 250 to a cut from stone 175. At 250, my friends who were girls never wanted to set me up with their friends, and if I mentioned I was interested in someone, my guy friends would not take it seriously. At 175, my friends who were girls offered to hook me up with their friends, and whenever I mentioned someone, my guy friends were like, yeah, she'd probably go for you. If you're skinny and you eat a whole pizza in one sitting, people think you're a beast. But if a fat person does the same, they are disgusting. This is true. I'm 6'5" and used to weigh 365 pounds. People gave me the stink eye if I got seconds when eating dinner. Now that I'm 240 to 250 and muscular, people assume I need to eat a whole large pizza and 30 wings or a similar amount of food at each meal. The double suck to the pizza scenario is that when you are fat and you don't eat a lot, some people will just assume you are just putting on a front and say things like, I know you aren't full. Wearing bralettes because normal bras hurt like crap when the metal sits right on your ribcage. I'm assuming because you are skinny. On the other side of this, I'm heavier, and when I gained weight, my breasts got a lot bigger. The weight of my giant breasts pushes the wire into my ribcage harder than it ever did when I was a normal weight. I wish bralettes came in my size, but they wouldn't be supportive enough even if they did. Bras just suck. The pain of wearing shorts or a swimsuit and your fat thighs chafing together, especially in hot weather and when swimming, your skin gets so raw. As a kid, I was stick thin and never understood the whole chafing thing. Then puberty hit, and being female, my hips/thighs filled out, and I was so confused why all of a sudden my skin was on fire when I wore swimming shorts. I have been both fat and skinny, but the only thing I remember is that being really skinny was really hard for my self-esteem. Speaking as a male, I felt so small and brittle all the time, and I bruised more easily. I was always self-conscious about being a skinny, non-muscular male too, especially attempting to play rugby, a game premised on strength and muscularity. A friend of mine who was a little tubby always argued that skinny people don't understand how fat people feel about their bodies. It's not the same. The feelings are the same. You just look different. Skinny isn't a synonym for healthy. Neither does it mean we're completely happy with our physical appearance. I'm about 5'8" and weigh 64 kilograms, which doesn't seem like much, but when the only weight I have put on the past 6 years goes straight to the stomach and nowhere else, I find myself sucking my gut in now. So I'm starting to work out, but frig, I'm as far from in shape as possible these days. People who don't know me well always say, shut up, you're skinny, but my family all notice the actual difference. Not all fat people have big breasts or a big butt. As a fat girl with a B cup and a small butt, it's really frustrating. My weight is distributed through my arms, stomach, thighs, and calves, not just my breasts and butt. On the bright side, I lost about 10 pounds over the past month, which is my first step to becoming a healthier person. I've been fat since I was 7. Only one person in my family isn't overweight. It's time to change. And that brings us to the end, narwhals. If you made it till the end, I'd encourage you to tap the thumbs up button below. That really helps us grow. If you haven't subscribed yet, our subscribers are known as the narwhals, inspired by the brave unicorn of the sea. I'd encourage you to subscribe to join the original 10,000 narwhals, and so you don't miss future videos like this. Thanks for watching, and until next time, be brave, be a narwhal.